It's time for NCW Life News on the NCW Life channel. The latest from the Wenatchee Valley and North Central Washington with Steve Hare, Grant Olson, and sports with Eric Granstrom.
Good evening and welcome to NCW Life News. I'm Grant Olson. Here are a few of the stories we're following for you tonight. Fish and Wildlife continues to monitor a cougar on the prowl in East Wenatchee. A fatal crash in Eniat leads to the arrest of an Eniat man. A PUD helicopter was busy in the skies this week, and the NCW District Fairgrounds receives a facelift before the fair in August. Later on, we'll have sports, your weather forecast, and our feature story today. But first, we begin tonight. A cougar has been roaming the East Wenatchee area this week, creating unease in several east side neighborhoods. State Fish and Wildlife Department officers have been monitoring the animal and tracking its movement since the first sightings were called in Tuesday afternoon. Agency spokesman Sergeant Dan Klump says the cougar was spotted again last night.
The big one for us is people that intentionally feed deer and keep those deer in and around their property. We understand deer are fun to look at and all that, but I would let nature do nature's thing of not being, attracted unnecessarily to certain areas. Because if you have a high concentration of deer, for example, in certain areas, an animal such as a cougar will see that and take advantage of that because it's easy for them to hunt, as that's one of their primary things in their diet.
Klump advises residents of the area that cougars are prowling for food and often wander into the valley seeking food, water, and shade.
11:30 p.m. I did get to speak to a person who saw the animal cross in front of their car. She said that she recognized it from the Facebook photos that were out there, and that was in the 4100 block of Cascade Avenue, which is north of the bridge there of town. And the intent behind this is to just have that good communication, let folks know of what we're aware of that has come across our desk. As far as concerns of the community right now, we're not concerned at that point other than just continue to monitor and see what this animal does, and hopefully it proceeds on north out of the populated areas.
Klump says cougar sightings can be reported to the State Department of Fish and Wildlife through their Wenatchee office or through Rivercom Dispatch at 663-9911. An Eniat man was arrested yesterday afternoon in connection with a two-vehicle fatal crash on Eniat Valley Road. Chelan County Sheriff Brian Burnett says 29-year-old Walter Williams faces vehicular homicide charges in the death of 48-year-old Deborah Augustus, also of Eniat. Burnett says the collision occurred around 4 p.m. on Tuesday, about 4 miles west of Highway 97A. Additional details are pending. Well, the helicopter you've probably seen flying over the Wenatchee and Chelan valleys over the last couple of days is contracted by Chelan County PUD to survey PUD transmission lines. The pilots are taking pictures and gathering high-tech survey information to help PUD engineers maintain reliable electric service in the county. Flights are scheduled to continue today through Saturday. The helicopter will fly twice along the transmission lines circling Wenatchee, those between Chelan Falls and Union Valley, and from Knaps Hill Tunnel to the South Shore. Well, preparations are underway in Waterville at the North Central Washington District Fairgrounds for August Fair. Repair work has been started to make sure that the fairgrounds are kept in good shape. Commissioner Dan Sutton says the work will also include a new paint job on the livestock barn.
Well, the Board of Commissioners has taken a very proactive direction with the fair up there. We're very proud to have the North Central Washington Fair as part of our community. And that being said, we're committed to cleaning it up. We're repaving the main parking area and some of the walkways. We will be up there next week painting the face of the barns, and basically we want to provide a nice clean venue for the people.
The NCW District Fair runs August 24th through the 27th. Coming up, Governor Inslee issues a statement regarding the delay in adopting the state capital budget. Ballots go out for Chelan and Douglas counties, and Tim Eyman launches a new initiative to get rid of various fees and taxes associated with cars. I'm Grant Olson, and you're watching NCW Life News.
Stay up to date with what's happening in North Central Washington. Go to the NCW Life Community Calendar at ncwlife.com.
Governor Jay Inslee issued a statement yesterday regarding the delay in adopting the state's capital budget. The $4 billion construction spending bill is currently mired in a dispute between the Senate and House, with the governor blaming Senate Republicans for the holdup.
After a near unanimous vote in the state House, it's unfortunately being blocked by Republicans in the state Senate. Senate Republicans are playing politics, frankly, with this budget that creates jobs, that improves safety in schools, and keeps our economy moving forward. We've never failed to pass a two-year capital budget, and there's never been a capital budget more important to our state's future. Blocking this budget puts 1,400 projects at risk. There is one big job left for this legislature, and we can't let the people of Washington State down. Every county in Washington is counting on this budget. It's time to put communities ahead of politics and pass the capital budget so every corner of Washington can continue moving forward.
But GOP Senator Judy Warnick of Moses Lake maintains passage of the capital budget is contingent on passage of legislation she sponsored that relates to the state Supreme Court's Hearst decision. Warnick stresses the bill's importance for the rural area of the state who want wells for domestic use. Warnick's bill has passed the Senate 4 times, she said. While it has been introduced into the House, no votes have been taken on the measure. Warnick's bill seeks to fix the problem created in the Washington Supreme Court's decision, which found that the state failed to properly consider the effects groundwater pumped from wells would have on surface water and those who hold rights to surface water. The ruling effectively shuts down development in any area where pumping well water can affect the amount of water in rivers, streams, and lakes. Ballots were mailed out yesterday in Douglas County for the August 1st primary election. There are contested races, including Water Commissioner, Eastmont School District, and East Wenatchee City Council. Auditor Thad Duvall predicts an average voter turnout.
Well, we're hoping for 40 to 50%, but that might depend on if the candidates get out there and really campaign hard. So we ask people to please be interested. Local elections are really where the rubber meets the road.
Duvall says if you don't receive your ballot within 5 days, contact the auditor's office. That phone number is 745-8527. And for a full list of candidates who have filed, visit the Douglas County website. Anti-tax activist Tim Eyman is hoping a third time is a charm. Eyman launched a new initiative on Tuesday to get rid of vehicle weight fees, vehicle fees imposed by cities, and remove all car tab taxes imposed by Sound Transit. The initiative would instead bring back the $30 flat fee for each year on car tabs. Two similar Eyman-led $30 car tab flat fee initiatives passed back in 1998 and in 2002, but both faced legal challenges and were ultimately declared unconstitutional. Following the passage of the 25-year, $54 billion Sound Transit package, which was approved by voters last fall, Eyman says Washington drivers are feeling sticker shock when their car tabs doubled and in some cases tripled after the passage of the package. Transit supporters immediately criticized Eyman's new initiative and say they need solutions to address congestion in the Seattle area and that transit is vitally important. You're watching NCW Life News. Coming up next, Eric Granstrom has your sports update, followed by our featured story today. That and much more still to come on NCW Life News. Stay with us.
Get the fastest internet available in North Central Washington by switching to LocalTel and get speeds up to 1,000 meg. Call 888-8888 today or go online to localtel.net.
And now it's a sports update on the NCW Life channel.
And a good Thursday night. After winning 9 straight at home, the Wenatchee Apple Sox have now lost 2 straight at Paul Thomas Senior Field after a 12-4 loss at the hands of the Cowlicks Black Bears last night. Things look good early for the Sox as Josh Zamora hit a long ball in the second.
2-0 from Cosby. Cranked down the left field line by Zamora with a little bit of carry towards the foul pole. This is getting out. Home run for Josh Zamora. Down the left field line he goes. Home run number 2 in West Coast League play. And the solo shot puts the Apple Sox up 1-0 tonight.
Connor McCord tried to help a comeback in the ninth with another home run.
Tomorrow night starting pitcher, and he hits one high and deep down the right field line, gives it a charge down the line, and a solo home run down the line for Connor McCord. Apple Sox second home run of the game, their first run since the 3rd inning.
Trevor Williams with the call there on the Apple Sox radio network. Cowlitz used a 4-run 4th inning to erase a 2-0 deficit early and never looked back, collecting another 3 home runs on the night. Andy Armstrong hit a 2-run shot in the 6th. Corey Voss followed with a 2-run homer in the 7th. And then Delvin Granberg stroked a solo home run in the 8th to give the Black Bears 6 home runs in 2 games to open the series. Wenatchee will try to avoid being swept tonight when the Apple Sox send Connor McCord to the mound against the Bears. Austin Merrill, first pitch at 7:05. Also in the WCL last night, it was Bend getting the better of Bellingham 14-4. Matt Kroon led an 18-hit night for the Elks, going 3 for 5 with a home run and 4 runs batted in. Victoria, in a high-scoring affair, edged Yakima Valley 13-10. Andrew Shaps had a homer and 3 hits, while Shane McGuire added 3 hits for the Harbor Cats in the win. Kelowna got by Corvallis 14-7. Taylor Wright had a big night, helping the Falcons get back on the winning track, going 5 for 6 with 3 RBI. It was the Sweets giving up the lead, allowing 4 runs in the 8th. Then they got it back in the bottom of the 8th and down Port Angeles. 6-5 was the final in this one as they go on for the victory. So the North Division standings, Victoria now on top at 6-3. Wenatchee 2nd place, a game and a half back at 3-2. Bellingham in 3rd, Port Angeles 4th, Walla Walla in 5th, Kelowna, and then the Falcons kind of off to a rough start here for the second half of the season. Well, Kyle Crustangel is loving his new job as head coach of the Wenatchee Apple Sox. The Yakima Valley Community College coach was hired last September as Wenatchee's 4th coach in franchise history. Being a former West Coast League player himself, he was thrilled to get that call.
Extremely excited. You know, I think as a former WCL player, it was a time of my life, especially as a JUCO player and as a Division III kid, you know, to be able to play in the West Coast League with the Division I players, you know, with some of these guys you see on TV nowadays. I loved it. So a chance to get back in the coaching role at this level, it was a no-brainer. I was extremely excited when I heard the job was open. Wanted to kind of throw my name in and see what happened, and you know, was fortunate enough to get the call from Jim and Ken for an interview, and then a second interview. I remember I was at YBC's field, water in the field, and got the call that I was hired, and was extremely thankful and blessed and humbled to get the gig here in Wenatchee, and was determined to get going. I think by the time I was hired, I think I had the roster about 80% done within 4 or 5 days, as I knew I was a little behind the 8 ball given the time when these kids get contracted to play. But no, it was, like I said, just blessed and excited for the opportunity.
Crustangel's Apple Sox are battling for first place in the Northern Division of the WCL, as we mentioned with the game tonight against Cowlitz. It was in Longview last week against Cowlitz that the lights went out in the 8th inning. The 2 teams decided to have a little dance-off.
Kind of bizarre. They had an Oregon State kid batting his first at bat of the summer, rips a shot up the middle. It seems like right as that ball's being hit, the right field light just pops out. And you got a 3-0 lead in the 8th, and you're wanting the game to be over for the win. And all of a sudden, the coaches come together, the umpires come together, and what does the guy playing the music do? He starts playing some good music, I guess. And you know, all of a sudden, these games start, and they all come together, and there's a rock, paper, scissors off. And then all of a sudden, it's tic-tac-toe. Then all of a sudden, it's a full-blown dance-off. And it's what makes baseball special. I mean, you see, you know, some of the big name guys on our team and their team, and everybody having fun. The crowd's on their feet, almost more into the dance-off than they are the baseball game. It goes on about 15 minutes, and I saw in the paper it looked like we had the upper hand on the dance-off in some of the games, but it was incredible. If you didn't see that video, it's on YouTube, and you know, as a coach, you kind of sit back and just smile and let it happen, and let the guys enjoy, you know, so much more than just the competitive 9-inning baseball game. They enjoy each other.
Crustangel, a guest this morning with Dan Kuntz on Wake Up Wenatchee Valley, says hopes to have a long career with the Wenatchee Apple Sox. What's the name of that game where you flip the bottle and try to get it to land on its bottom? Is it called flip? I'm not sure. You're going to have to help me with that one. This was the final day of 3 days of tennis at the Rack as part of the Local Tel Junior Tennis Tournament. Charles Grobler says he's proud to have been part of it since its infancy.
We're hosting the North Central Washington Local Tel Tennis Tournament, and this is a regional event for players from 10 and under all the way through 18 and under. And there's 185 entries into the event and 50 different divisions to compete in. And this is something I've been a part of for 31 years. Many of the players who have competed here have gone on to play professional tennis. The last one was Wojciech Pospisil, who won Wimbledon last year in the doubles. So we're very proud of all these top players that get to come play here in Wenatchee, and that we get to be a part of their history.
And proud to be part of that with Local Tel. We'll try to get some results for you coming up tomorrow right here on the NCW Life channel. Wenatchee's Cody O'Connell is busy with his Washington State teammates getting ready for another season of Pac-12 football in the Palouse. He doesn't pay much attention to other things going on when it comes time to play football. So forgive him if he has no comment about being listed on the watch list for the Outland Trophy today. O'Connell, affectionately termed the Continent by his Cougar head coach Mike Leach, stands 6 feet 8 inches tall, weighs 370 pounds. He was a finalist for the award, recognizing the nation's most outstanding lineman a year ago. The All-American is ready to begin his senior season at left guard for Washington State University. Also on the watch list is O'Connell's former teammate at Wenatchee High School, Trey Adams, who will start at left offensive tackle for the Washington Huskies this fall. Must be something in the water here locally. That's sports. I'm Eric Grandstrom on the NCW Life channel. Grant, back to you.
Thank you, Eric. Yesterday afternoon, Don Reddington and his daughter Donnie made the final stop of their 10-day Ride for Alzheimer's. The Reddington duo set out from Twisp following the conclusion of the 4th of July parade, and having been making stops all across Washington, riding on motorcycle and sidecar with fellow riders and supporters of raising Alzheimer's awareness. Making their final stop here in Wenatchee at the Pybus Market, they were greeted with cheers and smiles. Donnie Reddington shared her experiences and appreciation for the support shown by the Washington community during the ride.
Wenatchee has a special place in our heart, and that's kind of why we chose to end up here for our last rally. Thank you so much for everybody that has supported us on our journey and all the kind people that we've met along the way. It has been an adventure, and we have created more memories, and we also have revisited a lot of memories from the past on this trip. So it's been awesome, and I'm so glad that we made it, and I think Dad is going to be really happy to sleep in his own bed tonight, but I think we all are ready to get some sleep.
You never know what the next thing's going to be, and I'm just so thankful to these young ladies and all the things that they're doing to other people too, so thank you.
And we'll be back in just a moment with the recap of today's stories and your weather forecast for North Central Washington.
Stay up to date with what's happening in North Central Washington. Go to the NCW Life community calendar at ncwlife.com.
Welcome back, and now a recap of tonight's top stories. A cougar has been roaming the East Wenatchee area this week, creating unease in several east side neighborhoods. State Fish and Wildlife Department officers have been monitoring the animal and tracking its movements since the first sightings were called in Tuesday afternoon. Agency spokesman Sergeant Dan Klump says the cougar was spotted again last night.
11:30 p.m. I did get to speak to a person who saw the animal cross in front of their car. She said that she recognized it from the Facebook photos that were out there, and that was in the 4100 block of Cascade Avenue, which is north of the bridge there of town. And the intent behind this is to just, have that good communication, let folks know of what we're aware of that has come across our desk. As far as concerns of the community right now, we're not concerned at that point other than just continue to monitor and see what this animal does, and hopefully it proceeds on north out of the populated areas.
Klump advises residents of the area that cougars are prowling for food and often wander into the valley seeking food, water, and shade.
The big one for us is people that intentionally feed deer and keep those deer in and around their property. We understand deer are fun to look at and all that, but I would let nature do nature's thing of not being, attracted unnecessarily to certain areas. Because if you have a high concentration of deer, for example, in certain areas, an animal such as a cougar will see that and take advantage of that because it's easy for them to hunt, as that's one of their primary things in their diet.
Klump says cougar sightings can be reported to the State Department of Fish and Wildlife through their Wenatchee office or through Rivercom Dispatch. That phone number is 663-9911. An Eniat man was arrested yesterday afternoon in connection with a two-vehicle fatal crash on Eniat Valley Road. Chelan County Sheriff Brian Burnett says 29-year-old Walter Williams faces vehicular homicide charges in the death of 48-year-old Deborah Augustus, also of Eniat. Burnett says the collision occurred around 4 p.m. on Tuesday, about 4 miles west of Highway 97A. Additional details are pending. The helicopter you've probably seen flying over the Wenatchee and Chelan valleys over the last few days is contracted by Chelan County PUD to survey PUD transmission lines. The pilots are taking pictures and gathering high-tech survey information to help PUD engineers maintain reliable electric service in the county. Flights are scheduled to continue today through Saturday. The helicopter will fly twice along the transmission lines circling Wenatchee, those between Chelan Falls and Union Valley, and from Knapp Hills Tunnel to the South Shore. Preparations are underway in Waterville at the North Central Washington District Fairgrounds for August Fair. Repair work has been started to make sure that the fairgrounds are kept in good shape. Commissioner Dan Sutton says the work will also include a new paint job on the livestock barn.
Well, the Board of Commissioners has taken a very proactive direction with the fair up there. We're very proud to have the North Central Washington Fair as part of our community. And that being said, we're committed to cleaning it up. We're repaving the main parking area and some of the walkways. We will be up there next week painting the face of the barns. And basically, we want to provide a nice, clean venue for the people.
The NCW District Fair runs from August 24th through the 27th. And now your weather forecast for North Central Washington. We can expect a warming trend with mostly clear skies through tomorrow. That also includes Friday night and into Saturday. What we will see a slight chance for thunderstorms over parts of eastern Washington and North Idaho. If you take a look just off the coast of British Columbia, you can see an area of low pressure that is moving through, and that could trigger some lightning Saturday night. So we are going to keep an eye on fire danger possibility on Saturday night into Sunday. As I mentioned, we will keep an eye on that for you. This will be followed by slightly cooler, dry, and breezy weather for Sunday and into early next week as a weak cold front moves through the area. But for the most part, our weather will remain hot and dry with temperatures at or slightly above our normal highs for this time of year, and that is 87 degrees. So our forecast tonight, we can expect clear skies. Low temperatures will drop down to 65 degrees. Kicking off our Friday, a beautiful day, sunny, 95 degrees the high with lows in the upper 60s. For your weekend, temperatures at 93 Saturday, 64 the low Saturday night, and then that cool down, as we mentioned, on Sunday and into Monday, only 84 the high on Sunday, which first time in a long time will be below our normal high temperature. Remember, breezy conditions on Sunday and into Monday as well before temperatures rebound on Tuesday and Wednesday back into the upper 80s and to around 90 degrees on your Wednesday. And that's going to do it for our newscast tonight. For more on these stories and other news from around North Central Washington, you can find us on Facebook or our website at ncwlife.com. And remember, if you see news happening or have video you'd like us to use, we'd like to hear from you. You can send us an email at news@ncwlife.com or simply give us a call at 888-NCWL. That's 888-6295. I'm Grant Olson. Thanks for joining us and have a great night.
This has been NCW Life News on the NCW Life channel. For more news, log on to ncwlife.com, like us on Facebook, and follow NCW Life channel on Twitter.
Get the fastest internet available in North Central Washington by switching to LocalTel and get speeds up to 1,000 meg. Call 888-8888 today or go online to localtel.net.